Hi guys, and welcome back to EasyPy 3. Now that you know how to ask Python questions, in this lesson you will learn how to make decisions based on the answers you get. This is done through conditional statements. What do I mean by that? Well, let's look at a real life example. Say you want to buy a mobile phone. First you'll go on the internet and find a phone you like. You'll see the price of it and you'd compare it to how much money you have. If you have enough money, you will check out and buy the phone. Pretty straightforward, right? Well, so is Python. Let's look at the following code. A conditional statement in Python always starts with if, and if is a keyword. Then there is a space. There needs to be a minimum of 1. After that, you have your condition, which has to be true or false. In this case, whether you have money greater than or equal to the price of the phone. Then a colon, which is to say the instructions start from here. There must be at least one instruction. You need to start a new line for each instruction and indent it with at least one space. But the standard is to have 4 spaces, or an easier way to do that is to use the tab key. If you do not indent it, it will not be part of the if statement. Furthermore, if there are multiple instructions, the indentation level should be the same as shown here. The instructions given here are 2 functions, checkout and buy. You will learn how to make your own functions later in the course. Now in this example, there's no mention of what to do if your condition isn't met. Well, that's where the if-else statement comes in. If you do not have enough money to buy the phone you found, you would go back to searching for another one. And this is how that is written in Python. We have an else statement, which is another keyword. And then the thing we want to do if we don't have enough money. In this case, it's the search function. Now let's consider if there were more conditions. Say you wanted to make sure your phone had at least 4-star reviews. And as well as that, it has to be within your budget. It would look like this in Python. This is referred to as a nested statement since there is an if-else statement inside the body of another if-else statement. The code will run in the order of the conditional instructions. By that I mean it will first make sure the phone has at least 4-star rating. If it doesn't, it will output rating too low and carry out the search function again. However, if it has 4-star or higher, it will then check if you have enough money to buy the phone. If you do, you buy the phone. If you don't, it will carry out the search function again. Another thing to note is that if and else are on the same indentation level. So that's why you should use tab or 4 spaces, because having good indentation makes it easier to read and follow the conditions. And finally, let's imagine you found the phone you want, but it's a very popular phone, so it's out of stock online. Now you know that there are 3 local stores that may have it, but you have to go in and see if it's available. If one of the stores has it, you buy it and go home. If none of them have it, you go home without a phone. And this is how it's shown in Python using the elif, which is short for else if statement. Note how I've used 3 different ways of checking the same thing, in this case that there's at least one phone available. Once again, the code is run in order and stops as soon as one of the if statement returns true. If none of the conditions are met, you end up with the else instruction. Whilst we're on the else statement, I just want to point out a few things. The else statement has to be after an if statement and it always comes last. Oh, and you don't have to write an else statement as the code can still work without it. In this case, if we didn't write the else statement and none of the conditions were met, you would do nothing. That's all for this one, guys. Up next, we're going to go back to the basic calculator project and update it with the conditional statements so you can see how we can put these conditions into practice. If after watching that you're still not sure about something, you can always ask me